Training. Well, first of all, I've been in the praise and worship ministry for over 20 years now. I've been an instrumentalist. I started out as a drummer, and then I've been leading praise and worship in our home church at the Good Samaritan United Methodist Church for more than 10 years. I've been also a soloist of multiple choirs, prominent choirs in the Philippines, namely His Sounds, which is the longest running evangelical choir in the Philippines. Also Chorus Philippines. Also had the chance to sing with some other choirs. And also when it comes to musical training, I've been a drummer since I was 12. And I've had extension courses in the University of the Philippines in the College of Music. So when it comes to my ministry as not just as a worship leader, but as a worship pastor, I was pastor for worship at the Joy Christian Fellowship in Intramuros, where I oversaw how worship should be done in using different methods. So I am, in my training as a pastor, I was trained in the high church, meaning this is the method that is used for like Catholic Church or traditional churches, focused on hymns, on more classical music, and also, mainly modern churches, modern styles of music. So, if this is just the start, and I'm sure a lot of you, there are some of you here who have musical training as well, which is the reason why our objective is not for me to do the trainings most of the time. Also, part of my objective is that, as you can see, I also play the drums here in our church, but my ambition is that there would come a time that we would have an abundance of musicians and drummers, so the pastor can concentrate on teaching, mainly on the pulpit. It is important when we talk about praising in the sanctuary, praise Him with the mighty heavens, and then in Psalm 150 it says there, praise Him with trumpet sound. So they had trumpets before, they had tambourine and dancing, because that's in Psalm 150, tambourine and dance. That's why we find a lot of churches with tambourine dancers. It's not such a foreign concept. There are strings, there's pipe, sounding cymbals, so cymbals aren't so evil after all. Right? Because the drums, I played drums also professionally in the Philippines. That augmented my needs for college school. And a lot of people thought that I was playing an instrument of the devil because it's, there's drums and there's cymbals, but it is biblical.
Cassie, please open the door.
All right, so it is biblical. Instruments are biblical. However, although it is used in praising God, it is simply part of praising God. So this is not where the heart is when it comes to having praise and worship. We can play skillfully. Actually, the Bible tells us to play skillfully, so it's important for us to learn our craft, not just to play in a manner that is not, it's not excellent. So it's important for us to know instruments and to learn instruments. However, this is not where praise and worship, depends on. It's not the main foundation. So, Jeremiah, can you read again Psalm 22, verse 3? And read it a little bit louder so we can know what the whole premise is when it comes to praise and worship. All right, so in other words, it is in Old English and being translated into modern English. God inhabits the praises of his people. He rests on the praises of his people. That's why it is essential. What we do every Sunday or before a worship service is essential in a worship service. In fact, the instrumentalists before, as what we can learn from David, they were part of the Levitical priesthood. You know, other people who teach, who lead in worship, they're part of they were considered as, like pastors and leaders of their church because they lead the congregation in such an important event, such as praising or singing or instrument playing. So it is very important. It's not just, it's an icebreaker. Because, again, let's be honest, we usually think that praise and worship is an icebreaker. All of us came from our homes, we go to church, and we just stand around and we smile and we want to warm up the people. But this is not the case. In fact, we don't do praise and worship just to warm up the crowd. This is different from a front act. And then you have the main act. Actually, the preaching is really important. It's actually the main reason why we come together, to hear the Word of God, to immerse ourselves with the Word of the Lord. But it is, praise and worship is also important because it's a time for us to participate in the worship. So, when we look at the awkward moment in the video a while ago, the reason why we do that sometimes, or in some cases, is because we do not see the main reason why we do praise and worship. We think that praise and worship, or the praise and worship leader is like an MC. Alright? MC. It's like when there's a wedding, you would choose the master of ceremonies to say, everybody, let us all welcome the Mr. and Mrs. Abraham Lillis, something like that. But to be a praise and worship leader is not just to become a master of ceremonies. All of the people in front, whether they are on the keyboards or the drums or guitars, and also the singer, they are all praise and worship leaders. So there's a difference in perspective. It's not just the leader who's here. He's not the only praise and worship leader, but the people in front will lead the people to worship. And another thing, we're not the people who would usher the people into worshiping God. It's actually that's Christ's job. But our purpose is to be there to lead the people, to just be an example. It's more of like the cheerleaders of the group. It's not just it's not a master of ceremonies, but we are the cheerleaders cheering with the congregation for the glory of God. Now, let me ask you this. Based on our perspective or even our experience, I want you to contribute. What are the usual problems, and you can share your heart, based on your experience, what do you think are the problems that you have encountered as a member of the praise and worship team? So this is not just limited to this current praise and worship team, but even in your previous experiences. I want you to share what you have experienced, those things that you wish didn't happen. So let's remember, when we share this, let's not be personal, and let's not take it personally. All right, yes, Sasha. That is, it sucks. Sorry for the term. It's not good because we're not we're not respecting other people's time when we're late for something that was set. That includes worship services, meetings, and all that. That's why we try to break the mold, or is that the right term? Break the mold, or break the mold. Yeah, we try to break the norms that people think that Filipinos are always late. But that's a myth. Actually, I've discovered that even Americans, white or black, or other people of different cultures, can also be late. And the reason for lateness is contempt for other people's time. When we don't respect other people. It's like, I have it difficult, but have you considered that other people also have it difficult, but they were able to make it? So that's one. Thank you, Saskia. I really felt that. That was from the heart. All right, anyone else? Yes, Katie. Transitioning. Can you explain?
Usually, we have awkward pauses. Usually songs like we'll end it nice, and then some silence. And then we're shuffling through verse. And then we'll start again. And then I feel like we should either have I don't know, maybe your papers in order, or we should keep some instrumental going or something. Like those silences are kind of not what makes or breaks the worship, but it's definitely
It affects you.
contributing.
Yeah. So it's true. I think this has been happening ever since I started in the praise and worship ministry. Some of our leaders, even when I was 12 years old, our praise and worship pastor would not be prepared when he comes in front, and man, that's what you call a dead air. One of the things that I want to teach people as well, as part of my training, again, please excuse my mentioning of my background, because I just want you to know that there is credibility in what I'm sharing with you. In my training in mass communication, we call that dead air. And that is one of the things that we should avoid. When you're in front, when you have the microphone, or when you're on radio or television, one of the main things that is considered as an utter faux pas or a mistake is to have dead air. So an example is, it's not just shuffling or unpreparedness of the person in front, but also being unable to find a transition, like what Katie is saying. It's something there. So when we are in front, part of having a successful or a proper worship leading is having the right type of transition. Also, for those of you who have been in competitions, who here have been in band competitions, choir competitions? Raise your hands. So what do you notice in competitions? I've been in a number of competitions. Once we go to the stage, we go there, we go here, and you're not supposed to do your mannerisms because you're judged based on your presence on stage. Now, we're not here to judge the praise and worship leaders. I hope you're not getting that message. But we're here to give our best to God, like what we give in the secular field. So when we're here on stage, there are times when we don't treat it with reverence. I think that's a part of what Katie is pointing out as well. When we are unprepared, we have too many pauses, and we are simply not plug and play. One of the things that I noticed also, as someone who experienced being in a competition, in a band competition, part of judging is that when you go on stage, No, you shouldn't tune your guitar in front, and you should not try and do all of your wires. When you are going to enter a competition, you go on stage, you plug, and you're ready to play. That's part of the standard in competitions. Now, Pastor, we're not here to compete. We're not here to do all these things to please the crowd. No. But it can get distracting. Remember, when we have these sort of things happen in front, when there's a long pause and we're unprepared, we can distract the people from their worship. Just like the prayer that we saw earlier. I know that the person's heart was in the right place, definitely, but he wasn't leading the people to prayer. The people were starting to wander off. And we are accountable to the congregation, especially when we lead them to prayer or to praise and worship. Later on, we're going to find out the standards of how to avoid that, right? But we're just looking at the problems first. So that's not being on time, not being professional on stage. It's two problems now. Okay, anyone else? Yes, Ate Christina.
That's part of the preparation to, I think, when the people who's going to be singing with them should coordinate what the first song, the second song, the third song. Say they have coordinated with the people over there who's controlling the sound system and what's going to be over in our. Because if you change it and they didn't know it, they won't be able to plug the right song on time. And sometimes that's also a dead air because people are not participating.
Okay.
They want to see it and yet they can see it.
Right.
That's
right.
majority of the things that we don't know what we're doing.
So there's lack of coordination. So lack of time management, lack of professionalism on stage, and lack of coordination. Lack of coordination can really disturb a praise and worship event or a praise and worship in general, even in preaching. That's the reason why, for me personally, I'm thankful to my wife and also to her pastor's wife trainee, Darlene, because it's nice because we now have reached a dynamic that I don't need to say, next slide please, next slide. It's always, okay, they know when the slide would be. But sadly, this is not the case with most situations here in church. And also in some churches, because there is a lack of coordination. So that's a very big problem. Thank you, Ate Christine, for pointing that out. And later on, we're going to figure out how we can avoid that. Lack of coordination. Anyone else? Remember, this is not a personal attack to people, all right? This is, don't think that it's about you. It's about praise and worship in general. This goes on in so many churches, even in the Philippines. We struggle with this. Yes, Lee.
Oh, no. One problem, because I attended a seminar, worship seminar by Ruben Morgan, and one of the most common problems that he said is the musicians and the musicians are not worshiping. Yes, they are playing, but they are not worshiping. So how can we cater the audience? They can see us not worshiping. Because we can worship while we're playing.
Yes.
And he said, and which I also experienced, that when you worship while playing, you will see great things. I'm telling you, even if you don't practice it, it will just come out because the Holy Spirit is with you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's also very important. Thank you for pointing that out, Lee. Because even if we get everything right, remember, even if we get everything right, if our hearts are not in the right place, if we're not having a heart of worship. Instruments, even though here there's a drummer and he knows how to read notes, and we have music degrees, we have piano lessons, the people with piano lessons and all that. It's not going to happen because worship is not there. I know we're in a worship service, but is it possible to be in a worship service without having a heart of worship? It is. And here's a news flash for all of us. In the church, Satan can be, and his cohorts, devils, can also be present. We're not so superstitious to believe that because this is the church, the devil would be, I can't. No, they come in freely, they disturb people, they mess up with our minds. That's the reason why in the middle of a worship service, suddenly, probably you think of something really off, and it would disturb you. And that's because we are not in the proper mindset of worship. Now, before we go to the solutions, I'm sorry.
As a matter of fact, that's our subject to the children last
Sunday?
week, Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday service, and also this morning about the temptation, because we can be easily tempted whatever we're doing. And I mentioned it to the kids when we're listening and sitting here. The pastor is an extension of God. It's not him, but it's the word that he's going to serve. Now, what is the relationship of that when we're singing? The first time that we shared with the things on the front, it's already worshiping. It didn't start when the pastor teaches. It's the start when we started praying and we started singing, because singing is praising, and that's also worshiping God. And then if we are in the front, and we can see that they're not inspired, they're not happy, they're not, they're not really. It's like, I wait till this is done and it's over. And that's what I told the kids when they're singing. You have to think of the word that you're singing, because you cannot say, I love God, and it's the same thing with us. That's why with me, when I'm part of the choir, I have to understand the words that I'm singing. I have to make it my own as if I'm worshiping God. The majority, sometimes I can feel it, we're just singing and everybody's not happy to be there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Again, Ate Christina is correct. And I think this can be experienced not just by praise and worship leaders, but also by any participant of the worship. When you're not into it, when you don't understand what you're reading, what you're singing, you would fall into the category of apathy. I don't care. I just want to get things done. I'm here because my mom forced me to do it, or because my dad is the leader of the church. I'll just go and play because they told me to play. No one else will play. And so it can be seen. Example, someone's playing or someone's here. You can sense the... And I'm not just talking about... No.
Jenna.
No. I'm talking about praise and worship instrumentalists in general, not just here. Okay, probably we see it here too. There are times when we see instrumentalists who are like, it's like, man, this is a chore. I'm not enjoying myself. And later on, maybe we can look at a video on YouTube about a video of, in black churches, we have black churches that have instrumentalists who really rock. They're like, man, and they even jump all together because they really enjoy what they're doing. They're, not in a sleepy mode. So we can notice if we're not enjoying our stuff, if we're not enjoying our craft, seeing now the purpose of our praise and worship, then we will see more faces that are being forced. And if you're being forced, I'm sorry that you're being forced. However, just know that you're in the right place. You're in the right ministry because God gave you those talents. And if you can play in other venues and you're giving your all, you have to give the most to the Lord. And we're going to be finding out how we can do that also this afternoon. So let's try to get to it, okay? So here are the things that can help us when we realize these mistakes that we're doing. To sum up all the things that you're telling me, realizing these things and looking at the strategies to arrest them can help us in our praise and worship. I've been in praise and worship teams that really rock for the Lord, so to speak. I know it's tacky, but for lack of a better term, we rock for the Lord. It's like there was also a venue that I can remember. We were leading thousands of people in the Philippines, and we were all in the spirit of worship because we needed to prepare for this. And how long does it need? How long do we need to prepare? Well, let's try to see. But first, the things that you mentioned to me earlier, the things that can probably help. Number one is to choose the right songs, and that's number one. Probably the reason why we're not feeling the song or we're not understanding the song because we're choosing the wrong songs. What are the wrong songs? It's these songs that are a mouthful. It's like you're a rapper. So expect the people when they're in the congregation, they're like, and we have senior citizens too. We're just trying to keep it together in the mouth. We're not the Miami Sound Machine. We're not even rappers. Choose the right songs. What is the right song? It depends on the congregation. Now there's no right song that would fit any congregation. That's why we need to choose the right song. We need to learn our demographic. We have senior citizens, we have who are actually baby boomers, and also we have middle-aged congregation members, we have youth. Now I know that we need to bump up the youth ministry, right? But we can do that. Yeah, that's true. I know. We need to do it. But we can do that. We can do that in different, in another time without really making everyone else suffer. I know we can have our own praise and worship service if you like, if that's what you desire. In order for us to improve our youth group, then we can think of strategies, but that's a totally different topic. When we talk about praise and worship, we have to consider the old members, the not so old members, the younger ones, and also the kids. So we choose songs that are singable. Does that make sense? Songs that are singable. Because there are times that even though I rap, I love rap. Caitlin loves rap too. But there are just some times when I'm just here and I okay, I give up. I'll just clap my hands. So instead of having people sing, we leave them to just clap or tap their feet. And so, because we choose the wrong songs. So how do we choose the right songs? How do we choose the right songs? Well, first of all, our main objective is to be biblical and scriptural. It doesn't mean that because it's popular, it's on K-Love, it's right. Because I find a lot of songs that are just, what in the world? What wet kiss? What? In a worship song? I don't get it. So they have these songs that are just, I know it's too deep for some people to realize. Now, what about the newer people who we invite? and who are here, will they get now the ambiguous or the cryptic songs that we choose that are sung by some people? Now we choose the songs that are easily relatable. I'm not saying that we should be congregation-led, but what I'm saying is we need to be scriptural and biblical. We need to find out what the theme is. My commendation and my affirmation for the praise and worship team right now is that you're being sensitive to the theme of the month. I love the song choice. You're doing a good job there. In fact, this is something that I have never experienced when I started here as a pastor. It's weird because we leave the choice of songs to the praise and worship leader, and the praise and worship leader will choose the songs that are close to his heart. Not that it's wrong, but it may not be right for some people. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be really understood. We need to know the audience, just like in performance. Sadly, there are a number of talented musicians out there who are not recognized, who are not getting radio play, because it's not right for the genre. It's not right for the demographic. Like here in Jacksonville, there is no jazz station. Would you believe that? No jazz station. Why? Because they like country. They like bluegrass. And then there's rock. And there's nothing in between. Now, this is just an analogy, all right? My analogy is, because this area doesn't appreciate certain music. Now, I'm not saying that we should play country to satisfy our audience. What I'm saying is we play songs, we should choose songs that are singable, that are relatable, and are scripturally powerful. You know what the song that I like the most that we've sung in the previous months? In Christ Alone. I love that song. It's so easy to sing. In Christ alone, my hope is found. I know, it sounds a little bit, oh man, I'm a hipster. Some young people may say, I'm a hipster. I like the Bruno Mars type of, but can you actually see your mom or your grandpa really doing that? It may end up in not in a not so good way. Choose the right songs. That's one. Number two, and I'm sure it's going to be addressing the problems that you mentioned earlier. Don't do too many new songs. That's the second strategy that we can have. If we want to introduce a new song, let it be just, okay, this is a new song, let's try to do one song this month, and you can familiarize them with that song for a month. Now, since we do alternate, like we have a mixed praise and worship team and a youth praise and worship team, what we can do is, whenever you're going to play the songs that you have studied for that month. You don't need to choose something new every Sunday. You just need to learn how to do it really well. And teach the congregation. And then the next month you can choose another set of songs. But we should not do too many new songs. Especially in the Sunday. I know it sounds, wait a minute, Pastor, but we want to elevate our congregation. It'll happen. But for now, the people are still trying to make sense out of praise and worship. We've got to stick to probably just one new song, then we can learn it and we can know it by heart, and then we can start moving on to a newer song, probably some other month or another time. So we have to choose the right songs, number one. Next, we have to refrain or not do too many new songs. And then number three, when we sing in the wrong key, we should not sing in the wrong key. Now again, it may sound too personal, But this happens all too many times when someone sings the wrong key. Now, having said that, this happens when we do not prepare enough. When we don't spend too much time in preparation. When we go there, we sing the wrong key or the transition. You know, we want to show up somehow. And I'm not going to even say that it's utterly bad to make transitions. It's just that when we don't rehearse it, and we have not practiced it, do not ever make that leading of the Holy Spirit as an excuse. It's not an excuse. Whenever we're good, we practice, okay, we stay in one key, we stay in one key. Okay? And in rehearsals, you've got to stick to the key that you rehearsed. I'm not saying this because something happened just recently. I'm saying this because it happened to us all too often. It's more of a, okay, yeah, we did rehearse this, but the praise and worship leaders, it's my conviction. This is what we're going to sing. And then come performance, the praise and worship leader sings a totally different key. And we're all struggling to find out even I didn't know what to, I wanted to help out. But I didn't know the key. I didn't know how to sing it. It's weird. So we need to sing in the right key. And we do that by preparation. We do that by giving enough time to let the music sink in. I know our only time for rehearsal is Saturday. Or Friday, Friday. And it seems very short, right? But we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. Some of us are unavailable during weekdays. And I have realized the answer is not necessarily adding more time to rehearse together. Sometimes, I was in the choir before, and we never rehearsed our parts. We were expected to come to the rehearsal and sing our notes because they expected us to rehearse it at home. Rehearsal actually happens at home. When you come together, you only rehearse how to play together. So that's one thing. We need to learn how to sing in the right key or play in the right key by rehearsing it at home. And when we come here, that's the time that we just put it together. We don't come here and then we wait for the praise and worship leader to, okay, what's my part? How do I play this? And your worship leader is like, wait, hold on. I'm trying to figure out how to bring everything together. No. Even in the choir, I'm just glad that what Ate Ambit did is that she gave us all the CDs ahead of time, and we had to rehearse them at home. And when we just came, or when we go to the rehearsals, we know the parts. All we just need to do is to clean them up. Okay, clean them up. It's not like, okay, time. I know we're all like, what? We have a long way to go. We have more songs to sing. No, this time we give you, and when did she give the CD? She gave it like last year. Was it last year, December? The one for Easter? Which is good. Yeah, January. So part of practicing it at home, we rehearse on a Friday, right? Rehearse what you need to do, not just for the Sunday, what you're going to play the next day, but rehearse for the next Sunday. What we do, one of the mistakes that we do in the praise and worship, me being a drummer and pastor at the same time, we only rehearse what we're going to play either a few hours into the day or the next day. But now we're making some changes. What Brother Lee does is that he gives us a message and links to YouTube links, and that's how we learn it. This is how you play the drums. This how you do it. I see the video. It's not just audio this time, it's video. So I can learn. And when I reach here, all we need to do is, okay, we start from, that's like a professional band. I'll start from measure 21. And, okay. And then and then Abe is going to tell me, okay, this is the tempo. What I like about Abe is that he has a metronome. And to me, that's good for me. And you know that the movie, what's this new movie about the drummer? Not quite my tempo. Whiplash. Not quite my tempo. Not quite my tempo. And I can relate because I had a band leader before who was so strict. And I needed to sleep with the metronome. Because that's how it is with professional bands. You have to train. Not quite my tempo, not quite my tempo. And you have to train yourself. That's why you have to have an instrument at home. I'm still convincing my wife to have a drum set at home. Until such a time that God can answer my prayer, I will come here to church and rehearse here in church. See? Makes sense, right? Makes it a lot easier if you rehearse in your free time. But somehow the reason why we don't feel it, we don't feel the music, is because we can't make sense of it. Why? Because the first time that we hear the song is during rehearsal. And we have not internalized it. So we're singing not just in the wrong key, but with the wrong heart. Now, fourth strategy. Do not just reproduce the CD. You're asking for stress when you're trying to reproduce what's on the CD. Because the people there are professional instrumentalists. I think there was one time we were trying to copy Ron Pinoli. We were so stressed out because we were listening to professional instrumentalists. But here, God gives us grace to do our own versions. It's not necessary that we copy it to the letter. In Filipino, we call it placado. Placado, from the root word placa, which means vinyl record. And we try to copy what's on the record. But this time, when you put your heart into it, you put your own flavor. So you have your own, like if you're a singer and you have some, extra notes that you want to sing, you just have to rehearse it. And if it's not in the recording, just make sure that it's in the right key so you can hear or your oohs and ahs and all that. So, but just remember that we are not here just to reproduce the CD. We're here to convey the message. We're here to convey the message, the lyrics of the song. And then number 5 is prepare, prepare, prepare. Prepare, prepare, prepare. That means we are not to be too programmed, and at the same time, we're not to be too lax, because you're prepared. When you're prepared, no one can catch you off guard. Like, for example, if you're really prepared for the song, the praise and worship leader suddenly receives inspiration in front and suddenly says, okay, everybody, stop for a while. We're not going to be singing. Stop. Hold on. I want you to clap your hands. And then all of the people are like, uh-oh. We didn't rehearse the clapping of hands. What are we going to do? How are we going to react? And what part is that? What measure? What is that in the chorus or before? But since you're prepared, I know it. I've got the hook in my mind. I see it in my mind. I've heard this before. So even if the praise and worship leader says, stop, everybody, hammer time. It's more like, let's do this. this group will say, yeah. And so even if that happens, you've got the hook in your brain. But, of course, we don't do that regularly because somehow praise and worship leaders think that it's their job to shake things up a little, but not necessarily. And so when we do all of these things, when we choose the right songs, number one, not do too many new songs, sing in the right key, don't just reproduce the CD or what's on the record, and then prepare, then we can perform it properly. Now, to what Sasa mentioned a while ago, we're not starting on time in rehearsals. Well, that's part of really preparing. When we set our heart on something for the Lord, we have to come on time. Now, here's a strategy for coming on time. So I hope you've written down those 5 strategies, or you've taken note. If not, I'm so sad. I'm going to cry later on in my office and sulk all week.
What? Why?
No, just kidding. So and we're going to be flashing it on later on. But here are now suggestions on how to make it on time. Number 1, create the mindset of the schedule. For the schedule. Create the schedule. Set the schedule in stone. If you know that your Friday is for rehearsals, if you have set it, you will have to respect that schedule. This Friday is for rehearsals. If you want to do it every Friday, then that's good. It's sad because we think that, okay, we're not playing every Sunday, so that means we don't need to rehearse every Friday. You can choose to rehearse every Friday to create the system, to create that, this Friday is meant for my band. So that means whoever would come to you and say, hey, let's go and to this place on this day, at least there's something at the back of your mind that says, no, this is for Friday band practice. And you set the time. Here's another strategy. If you're on time, you're late. Where have you heard this? If you're on time, it's on Drumline. You know the movie Drumline? I love that. Watch it. It's on Netflix. Drumline. The band leader says, if you're on time, you're late. But if you're 5 minutes early, you're on time. This helped me a lot, especially with rehearsals. Why? Because our professors in the Philippines, especially our music teachers, I've had music teachers, they're not politically correct, and they don't have that American fear of wanting to, not wanting to offend. These Filipino teachers will send you out. They don't care who you are. They will shame you. They will tell you to go out. They don't care if you paid money. Unlike here, there can be lawsuits. In the Philippines, there are no lawsuits. If they tell you, I've had a choir master before. We competed in the NAMSHA. The NAMSHA is one of the highest competitions in choir. And this music teacher was listening to us, all of us. We were supposed to hold a note. She can figure out who among the choir members were off. Like it's either flat or slightly sharp. And she would point that person and tell that person to quit. That's how difficult it was. And that's why you find a lot of awesome musicians in the Philippines. I'm sorry to say. In my glee club, we won. We keep on winning. We call it a glee club, yes. So easy. In my glee club, we keep on winning these competitions because of discipline. Now, one of the disciplinary, how do you say that? Discipline things that the professor would tell us. that really understand and love the craft. Love it to the point of if there's a rehearsal, do not miss a rehearsal. Because, and I tell my children this, especially now that they're wanting to be part of musical groups. If you miss a rehearsal, you miss how many things do you miss? You miss a lot of things. Announcements, number one. On our performance, we're all going to be wearing white. And then someone comes wearing black. I thought we wore black. We were wearing black. You announced that it's black. And then in the last rehearsal, we all decided it's going to be white. Don't miss the rehearsal because there might be some changes. And that's how it is with the choir, even for ourselves. Before the Easter Sunday, it's difficult for us to have another schedule on a Saturday because we have Bible study. But because of commitment to the choir, we said no Bible study at 5 p.m. to 6. Because we want to be there. We want to support the choir. That's how discipline is. You don't feel that sense of, I'm entitled to this. Everyone can go and commit except for me because I'm more special. Take that out because all of us are serving God. He is our audience. That's why the time that is set, if Kuya Abe says, well, if we all say 7, let's commit to that. Let's come 15 minutes early so we can prepare. I told this to the preachers, the 7 preachers for the 7 last words. I told them, come here. We start at 7 o'clock, come here at 6:30. So from work, you can sit down, you can keep quiet, and you can prepare for your message. And I praise God, they did it. That's discipline. I love it. I love how things are going on. But we are not too legalistic and say, because you're late, you're out. I hate you. It's not it. We're not teaching people to do that here. What we're doing is we're not wanting people to impose things on other people, but we want people to develop that love for their ministry. That's why I don't, for some people, you don't find me being the, well, you're not here. What time is it? And you're not performing well, you're out. No, that's not what we want to do. What we want to do is for you to develop that. If you want people to be on time, be on time. If they're still not being on time, then we can really come to them and say, well, you know what? I love you, my brother, my sister, but definitely I'm committing to this, and hopefully we'll do it as well. Because we're not doing it for ourselves, we're doing it for everyone. So those are the things that can help us with time. But as for what Katie mentioned earlier and what Ate Christina mentioned, and also for Lee, I think we already covered that. In choosing the right songs, internalizing them, not doing too many new songs, singing the right key, and preparing ourselves. We don't prepare for the next day, we prepare for the next week. What we perform the next day should have been rehearsed last week. We can make that standard. Can we make that standard? Does it make sense? It does, right? I mean, and it will make you feel, I've heard this before. I'm not stressed on a Sunday morning. And one more thing before we go to the next part. We're trying to avoid full rehearsals on a Sunday. There, I said it. Let's not have full rehearsals on a Sunday. We just do sound check. What is sound check? Choose the hardest part of your piece and play it so you know how it sounds, what are the things that are going wrong, and then make sure that after you play it, or you just make sure that everything's going on, okay, we're good. And the next song. what goes on, the bad habit is we meet because we haven't had much time to rehearse. We'll just do it tomorrow. Let's just come early. Yeah, like that's gonna happen. Does it happen? Yes, I think, Christine.
One thing is, if they're rehearsing like the time of the Sunday school, like we were over there, and we really need to sing up here because of the music rehearsal as the kids. It's hard for us when it's really close, but we go over there to just hearing the real music and really talk about it.
Yeah, it's difficult to talk, right? Pretend that you're in a concert. Yesterday we were in a concert, hearing all of this wonderful country music. We couldn't talk. We couldn't what? Oh, what are you having? This is chicken, and all that. That's all you can say. You can't talk about the day because there's noise or there's loud music. Now I get what Dr. Christina is saying, because Sunday school is a very important ministry of our church. We all need Sunday school. We all need to attend Sunday school. And that's probably the reason why we don't have a youth Sunday school anymore. I'm sad. I'm really sad. We don't have a youth Sunday school anymore. And somehow makes me want to have more ice cream, because ice cream makes me feel happy. But it's sad that we don't have Sunday school anymore, because why? Where are they? They're in the praise and worship, and they're playing, and they need to give good praise. So other ministries suffer. And you see, because of that, other people are affected. So what we do is we make sure that Sunday mornings are just for sound check. We just go here, okay, what's the most difficult part of our song? It's the time when we do ad-libs. And that's when we rehearse. No, when Alex Kosovich was here, we always had the guitar solo, right? We had to rehearse that. We had to rehearse the guitar solo. Now that he's gone, it's okay. We don't have guitar solos anymore, so we can just practice the highest note. I remember when Lee had to sing, what was that song, Lee? To God be the glory, or To God be the glory. It's like, wow, so high. No, it wasn't his fault, because the song was just, no matter what key for male, you're always going to have to reach that high note. To God be the glory, to God. It just keeps getting high. To God be the glory. And you see all the wonderful veins that God has created on the human being. Not just for him, but for me. And to God. And on the photo, we're like, yeah! And all the black of our eyes are gone. Like that. So you can see that if you're having difficulty, that's the only thing that you try to prepare for that one. But you don't have full rehearsals on one, because you already should have prepared that the previous day. Okay, so that's preparation. Let's do a review. What's number one? I hope you're really getting this. Oh man, this is really gonna help you. What's number one? Choose what? The right songs. That's amazing. I love you guys. Number two, not too many new songs. Number three. Yes, do not sing in the wrong key. Number four. Now that's 5. Preparation. Is number 5. Number 4 is don't reproduce the CD. Just be prepared, yes, but have your don't be afraid to just explore, or even just look at the things. Yes. Yeah.
Of course, saying that the person that was recording, it made it too high for the keyboard worship leaders to sing in that key. So basically, of course, that's when we want to change.
Yes.
So that's probably one of the things I want to touch on that. I'm sure because sometimes the original keys can be too high, and it's too much too hard for worship. So I feel like, of course, that's the time to change the key.
That's right. That's true. That's why 8 is correct. If it's really too high, and there are a lot of songs out there on record that are too high for the praise and worship leader. So now the wonderful, here's the wonderful, we're actually free to change the key. I like it because right now all you need to do is to search for it online and they transpose it for you. So yeah, that 8 is correct in saying that. If it's too high for you, just look for the right key and let's go from there. Now, stage performance. Aren't you all excited to how to perform on stage?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's wonderful. So, okay. So here's the thing. Something that I learned from Mascot. When you're up front, like what I mentioned earlier, now that we tackled all the strategies of how to learn the song, how to be good and efficient and all that, we've got to know how to stay on stage and address what Katie was talking about. Number one, when you're on stage, you are on. You're not off. That means you shouldn't be, hello, up here, and all that. You know, like, what's the next song? There was a time I was even praying. There was a worship leader who came in front. So, this book. I was praying, man. I was praying. Next to me, and I was like, seriously? Seriously? When you go on stage, even in musical competitions, you have to be on. When you're on stage, it's like really on. See? There's no mannerisms, no... Fix your wedgie down there. Don't do it on stage. Yes, it does happen. It does. So when you're on stage, you're like, there it is, there it is. I'm looking at the people. I'm the praise and worship leader. And I've got everything together. Now, if you're having problem with pieces, one of the common things that we need to do, we have pieces. Let's try to get some pieces here. Just like a sermon. You know how many pages what pastor prepares for a sermon? It's not extemporaneous speaking. Some people think that when we preach, it's like extemporaneous, pastor, just whatever comes into his head. Oh, there's week-long preparation that needs to come there. And what I look at are simply bullets, but there needs to be something written. And now, in order for me to reduce all of the paper that's going to be in front, even the facts that I'll be sharing, even my research for this, my Greek terminology that I'm going to be getting from a lexicon and all that, I can't bring them all here in the pulpit. So where do I put them? I put them in my handy piece of technology called the iPad. It's all here, but it's all condensed, which means I aim to have less stuff here. But now I choose to have my big Bible, so at least I can have, if it fails, here's the thing, planning ahead. If the iPad suddenly switches off, because somehow there's an EMP, there's a Decepticon outside, suddenly makes the electricity fail, and now what do I do? I'm lost. I have my Bible, I studied it for a week, and I can just go from there. That's why I have my Bible there. I'm rarely consulting it, but I have it there. So, how do we translate that to a music leader with pieces? Number one, try to find ways to condense your music sheets. So if you have multiple songs, this can really help. Get a clear binder. here's the thing. Isn't it nice if you have a black binder? Looks so professional, by the way. And you just do this. First song, this song. Wow, look at that. Let me repeat that. Our first song. Oh, see that? Instead of doing this, I've seen all too many. Where's the next song? Amazing Grace. It's Amazing Grace again. So now this time you prepare it ahead of time. It's here in a binder, all prepared. I figured out the key last night, and this is comfortable. This key is comfortable to me, so this is what I do. There it is. And it's in the binder, so it doesn't fly back. Wonderful technology in the 21st century. That and that. And then you do that again. There's another page. Or, you know what we do? Here's another thing. In the Philippines, which is a third world country, by the way, most of the choir members in our choir invest on an iPad. But if you don't have money to buy an iPad, ask your parents for it.
We have our worship coordinator here.
Worship coordinator. First Baptist Church had a budget for that. All of the choir, they gave them iPads. But we can't do that because we're a small church and we're just dreaming. We're still dreaming, all right? So what we do, what my wife and I do, my wife, by the way, is an alto. She has been in the choir scene longer than I have. She's been in the cherubim, all that. And, take care. Much love. Annyeonghaseyo. All right, that's Korean. What is it? Hello? Thank you. Okay, it's the same. Okay, all right. Okay, so when it's in the pad, our music, we just do that. We just scroll, and it's less clutter. That's what I was looking for, the clutter in front. That's what we want to avoid, the clutter. It's part of stage presence, when you're uncluttered. I even try and have the program for Sunday in my iPad. So when I want to consult it, I'm not like, oh my goodness, praise the throne. I do that on Wednesdays because I'm usually unprepared. But and then I suddenly say, no, not anymore. I want to have it prepared. I stick it. I put glue or tape or wherever. So these were not put. So that's for the praise and worship leader. What about for the instrumentalists? When you go here, there it is. Presence. It's like I have directed musical plays, and one key rule in musical plays is what? Always what? You got to face the audience and not do the, oh gee. I forgot to comb my hair today. No, nothing like that. No. When you're on there, no matter what it is, own it. Be convicted. I did not comb my hair today, and I'm a rock star. That's it. Do you know that I played the drums in my barong, not realizing that I was like, that there was something sticking out at the back. And I just saw it when Ate Lisa took my photo and I saw it. Oh my God. I'm like alfalfa. But I owned it. I played the drums. It was there, the presence of mind. Presence, and even the, what do you call it? Stage presence. You go there, and no more fidgeting, no more doing whatever. Just, okay, look at the congregation. And play with joy. Why should you be joyful? Well, number one, a number of people insure their fingers. Because if you lose it, no more playing. You're just like that. No more. You have fingers. You're trying to convey the joy of the Lord through your music playing. So therefore, you have to own it. This is my instrument, the instrument that God has given me, so I will face the audience and I will show them the joy of it. Don't think about, oh man, it's another Sunday, I just gotta get this done. And another thing, another tip, do not stand on one leg. It's like you're slouching like, and you're singing Ancient of Days. And then you're looking awkwardly at the worship leader because you don't know what to, because you're unprepared, you see? But when you prepare, you're like, yeah, I know this, I've heard it, we rehearsed it, and you can play, you can have your rock star stance. But not too much because we're in the worship, praise and worship. So you're convicted. Don't forget to face the audience, smile, and be on. Once you step on the stage, you are on. You're not switched off. You can be switched off on the pew or on your chair at your place. But when you come here, you're like, yes. An opportunity to lead people. What about for guitar players? Guitar players,
Usually slouch. And you're not figured out. Somehow, it's like that. And you don't really know. You can't figure it out. So here's the thing, the transition that we have mastered, while the pastor is praying, or whoever, we do it silently, and remember you have to tune it before the worship service, the day before. So when you do it, check the essentials. Somehow it goes up. Check the essentials. Prepare your napkins or your handkerchiefs. Wipe. Prepare it there and play. You see? Essentials. Look at it silently. Check. Right? Check. Oh, you see? Goes like that. So I have to check it. And then wait to play. See? And facing the audience, not facing this way. If you're the backup guitarist, then it's like that. No mannerisms. No, nothing like that. And no, is something that we should avoid. No whispering in front, because somehow it can be captured by the mic. So that's something that we should think of.
and care for your instruments, because the instruments are really important. That's, I think, what Kuya Lee was also trying to point out, that having the heart of worship is also to really understanding that you love, part of loving your craft is loving your instrument. Care for it and take, it's a gift from God. So treat it as a gift from God. So what else? So we covered the mannerisms, the stage presence, and also, finally, now, how do we talk? How do we make a spiel? So we covered the how to prepare for the worship. We covered the stage presence. Now the third part, and this is just going to be really quick before I answer questions. How do we talk? What do we say? Are we like birthday party MCs? Hey everybody, how are you all doing? Hey! Here's the thing. Let me tell you this. A real testimony from our older crowd. It hurts me too, because I'm part of the worship, and sometimes, and even when I was younger, when I was a worship leader, I've heard a lot of older people tell me this. Melvin, do not treat us like little children. Okay, Melvin? Why? I tell them, okay, lift your left foot. And do that's how praise and worship is. It's again, we discussed this earlier. It's not warming up the crowd. We treat them with respect, and we treat it as if we are really leading the congregation into the tabernacle of God. So we don't enter there like, okay, and then you're going to tell the older generation. Depends on your crowd, okay? If you're in a younger crowd, yes, do it. Let's jump, everybody, jump, and then do that. And then we have people with canes like, no, man, oh man, I want to do that. And some people would, so just be, hey, relax, and just lead the people to, good morning everybody, keep it concise. Remember the term KISS, what does it mean? Keep it short and simple. Less sometimes is more. Yes, when you go up, oh my goodness, what am I going to say? Practice what you are about to say. We do not want extemporaneous, hello everybody, welcome. Are you all doing great? And then no one answers. What do you do? No one says, yes, we're good. Why? Because they just all came from bed, and some of them are having some gout. How are you all? Hello everybody. Good morning. How are y'all feeling? This woman wants to say, my gout hurts like hell. You see, so always set the pace by saying, good morning everyone, and welcome to our worship service, our morning worship service, and let's give all the praise to the Lord. Keep it simple. Why? Because we already have a preacher. We don't go to the worship and lead worship to preach because we already have a preacher. Somehow we spend, like the video that we watched earlier, we have long prayers, but the presider already prayed. You see, we're being redundant. The worship leader, the presider, already prayed for the pastor, already prayed for the sick, birthday celebrants, the weather, wonderful, all that. That's the reason why, if you would look at the programs for today, we have announcements, call to worship, and prayer. He's going to cover the prayer part. Okay? Now, the worship leader, the worship participants, praise and worship leaders would be there to lead the people to singing. That's why speak, talk in a way that is relevant to your song. For example, Heart of Worship. Okay, our next song, if you're looking for a transition, I think that was mentioned earlier. How would the transition be? If we're not trained musically to have wonderful transitions, musical transitions, it will all rest on the worship leader. So the worship leader would be like, our next song is a beautiful song that speaks of wonderful, the heart of worship. And this is what the Lord requires of us, having the right heart of worship to do. Simple, but that's extemporaneous. I did it, and that's not recommended. So, what should be done? Write it on your phone, write it on a sheet of paper, so you won't fumble. We need to prepare. That's number 5. That's the rule. So if you want to have spiels, prepare. You know what First Baptist does? We attended a rehearsal of their praise and worship, They rehearse the spiels. I kid you not. I attended one of their rehearsals. They have it rehearsed. They have their worship leaders memorize it. And who prepares it? A team of pastors. We don't have a team of pastors. Frankly speaking, I don't think we have people who would have time in the ministry to do your spiels. Now, here's the thing. When you do your spiels, and you prepare them ahead of time, your guide is the theme of the month. What's the theme of the month? Christ alone. So look for, you can look for scripture, but if it's more than 5 verses or 4 verses, don't do it. 1 verse is enough. In Christ alone. This is our theme of the day. Okay? If you find yourself doing this, really, that's what the congregation will understand. It's too long, and there's people playing already in the background, and there's no transition that's going to happen there. What needs to happen? KISS. Keep it short and simple and prepared. Write it down. Put it there so you won't fumble, and know when to. You don't need to speak in the middle of every song. You don't even need to pray. I like how Abe is doing it. Really, I do. When he sings, there's a small spiel. There are times that there's no other talk, and that's it. That's the reason why we have the time really locked in. We're finding that before we end at 12:30, and right now I'm trying to lessen the time of my message, and we should do that. The same thing with the praise and worship, and it is happening because there's more of a disciplined way of saying it. Now, what we can refrain from is a very loud one. Because preparation would lead you to the drummer knowing it. It's like, man, I've got this locked in. The time is 100 beats per minute, BPM. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to practice the 100 at home. And then, when I reach the performance, all the praise and worship leader needs to do is this. No. This is how it... and then, because you're less prepared, you also give the intro. Okay? So it's totally kills it in the negative way, in the positive way. So what we're supposed to do, stand up, song, blah blah blah, that's it. You're gonna read the verse, 2 verses at the most, and then look at each other. That's it. Because you're prepared. What about the instrumentalists? Always look at the praise and worship leader. He's your conductor. Even in the choir, always look at the conductor. We're not there to be isolated. So when I'm here, I'm always conscious. Rule of thumb, and this is something that we also talk about in the mixed praise and worship. We look at each other like that. And when it's going to end, somehow you understand each other already. You know the look when it's about to end. And we have devised this, the hand gestures. I'll ask Roma to please explain to us the hand gestures. Yeah.
On the spot.
On the spot.
Okay, well, when someone's leaving,
Oh, yeah, right.
Spotlight is like.
hello everyone, how are you? Okay, so when you're leaving,
There
for
you go.
example, I'm the praise and worship leader. Since I
instrument, my cue to everyone behind me is my hand gestures. So this is verse, this is verse, this is chorus, this is bridge, this is last, and this is stop. So like while singing, I go like this.
Verse.
Last three lines usually is this, and then stop.
Yeah.
So the instrumentalist can see when you're ending and when you're going to verse, chorus, bridge, and the end.
So you see, your concerns earlier, when you mentioned the problems in transition and all that, it can be solved by a simple system that you guys can devise. But we can adopt that in the way we do it. Like, for example, suddenly Abe decides, I want to go to another chorus. Okay, chorus, everybody. Or you can do that, or you can just say, chorus, or, the gestures is really important. So, form a system that would reduce your, and then you're like, and then somehow people are oblivious because they're like, it's like the saddest thing in the world. We've got to really own it. We are the praise and worship team. Do you know that even in the Bible, the allusions are praise and worship is also in the pastoral ministry. What? How crazy is that? You guys are also pastors. So that means you have to really own it. Here, I am here. And I will not turn my back. I will not do that. And I tell my children this as well. Praise and worship. Of course, they're children. Nagkikiliti ang ganun. Like this. And in the worship, I said, no, always performance level. Always. When you rehearse, make it performance level. When you're on the stage, you get transformed into this person that is given this privilege to lead the congregation. So when you rehearse whatever you're going to be performing or whatever you're going to be doing, that Sunday you have to rehearse it. No. and like this, and the typical. And so when we perform the Sunday, we don't know how to do it. Why? Because you don't do it properly. The choir even, what the choir does, there needs to be, and this is, I'm not talking about a particular, the typical choir would have to go and rehearse on the stage to see the blocking. That's it, the blocking. Where does the bass go? We're here. Where does the tenor go? We're here. See, and then there's no space there. Oh, we need to make room. At least we know. That's why we come early, or we go to rehearsals. And the women are here. How do we fit? We have to figure that out a few days before the rehearsal. So, yeah, we covered the talking, the spiels. Do we have any questions? Any questions before we begin?
Yes, Jen. Okay. Oh yeah, of course. Jenna was talking about, are you talking about rehearsals or performances? Yeah, definitely you can do that. You can time your rehearsals. You can make certain that, okay, we're rehearsing at 7 and we're just going to be here at 1 hour or 1.5 hours. You can do it. You can do it. Because you already have it set. You have the music in your head. You rehearsed it at home, so when you come here, for us in the Philippines, what we do, we only have 30 minutes to rehearse. And we kill it.
Why? We rehearse at home. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Even the music masters that we have, who are conductors in great orchestras, if you don't know your music when you go to rehearsals, that means he's not gonna do that. Ding, ding, here's your part. No, you gotta have it done, or you're gone. That's how ruthless some music, the masters are there. But here we don't do that because we're too. Yeah, we don't have enough people. We don't want to offend people. We don't want people to leave, all right? But we've got to make sure certain that when we come, we're already in that mode. So, Jenna, what you're saying, yes, you can do that. You can decide, okay, I need to leave at 8:30. And we need to be done by 8:30. That means when we come here, we already have the music in our... For pianists, for guitarists, for worship leaders, we have it in a binder. So when we come, what's the first? Music. And that's it. It's the first song. Then next song. It's so easy that way. So we're more organized. Believe me, guys, I'm laid back. Right? When you talk about organization, I'm the guy who just tells people, let's go. Let's go to this event. Let's go. I'm the guy who, remember in my message earlier? I'm the I guy. I love Star Wars and all that. Are you I too? I think Justin. Yeah, okay. Go.
I was going to ask, how come the person worship is not ready already when the person starts the service? So instead of, he goes to an announcement and the prayer, and then the worship service over, then everybody just is waiting for everybody to prepare. Why don't it's like everybody's already there, maybe dim the light with the spotlight on the front speakers, and then turn the light on and it's time for the prayer. Then that way, then you don't say like, okay, everybody's ready to get up. Not only does it take us long, but for the team to be ready already, it goes.
That actually makes sense. We can try it. Yeah, we can try it. So probably when the announcements are being done, I think that works, right? When the announcements are being done, although it's just remember, all right, it's okay. Just remember, here's the situation. You've got David over here. Hello, Bobby and it's time for worship. So you see what I'm saying? It's a challenge, especially for us, to have people already here, especially when we're next month. You know who's our presider? Our presider is Louis Norman. It's good. It's just that he's a soft-spoken guy. So it's possible. So that's the reason why probably, we can try and make it work. We're not, remember, any idea is good. It's better than nothing. So we can have them try it as long as it will not be distracting to the presider. We can try. Again, but if it doesn't work, and if it looks too busy on stage, then we'll have to make do with the prayer, and then they're just going to come there and have their instruments prepared. So when it's already plugged, all we need to do is lift it. It's recommended that truly we memorize our music. So we don't need our sheets, and we won't, or even the chords. If you can't memorize the lyrics, at least know the chords, know what the hooks are, know what the transitions are, and just we could probably take notice of the lyrics that are being flashed, or even look at the praise and worship leader. And if you're a backup singer, then it's much better if we memorize the music. Right? But if you can't, consolidate. It's a magic iPad here. Consolidate. Put the music there so you can just whack. If you can do that, then that's going to solve your problems. Right? Any other questions? We have exceeded our time by 20 minutes. We were supposed to end at 3, but you can ask some other questions if it's really in your heart. Ate Lisa, you have no question? No questions. Any other, even for the choir pala, the choir can also use that. Very handy. Memorize the song. Learn the music before. If you notice, we did not concentrate on how to, because you already had your trainings. You already had your degrees, your musical training in piano, so probably you know even more than some of us here. But the thing is, what's lacking is presence. So now that's what we concentrate. But please don't forget that. Do not forget the presence. Now we're going to remind you, before we end, we're going to remind you here, when we're in front and you're here, just take a glance at the congregation, and what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Alright? That means you got to smile, you've got to, but we're praise and worship leaders. Don't overdo it. Don't treat the older crowd like children. Don't make them do whatever they really can't feel it, and if they can't really get into the groove of clapping, don't force it. Don't think that they're less godly. And another thing, don't take it personally if there are old people who remain seated. I learned before I take offense. Really, I do. I did. I'm sorry, not anymore. Because they're not standing up and they're not doing what I say. I told them to lift their right foot and they didn't do it. Don't take it personally. It's because there are some people who are probably not feeling well. Or do not think that they're not worshiping, because some people who are seated are still worshiping. All you need to understand, think the best of people all the time. That's the number one. That's how I live my life. Thinking of the best of people first. Now when they're really nasty, that's when you say, oh man, this guy's nasty. And you know that he's nasty because I'm saying he's nasty. But one rule of thumb, think the best of people. They're there. They're fellow believers. They are Christians as well. So do not make that judgment. This guy's not standing up. He must be ungodly. He must be harboring something. No. Suspend judgment and think, probably this guy has gout. Probably this guy has diarrhea. So, something like that. So, extend grace. Okay, alright? Does that make sense? I hope you had, I hope you learned something this afternoon. I certainly hope you remember all those things. But don't worry, we're also going to be posting them on Facebook. So, I hope Darlene got it. So, okay. All right. So let's end with a word of prayer. If you have more questions, we can talk more after the training, but we're hoping that we can make the changes as soon as possible, especially in our next worship services. Okay? So let's all close in prayer. Shall we pray? Our dear loving Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for this time where we are able to get the essentials of praise and worship leading. Thank you, Lord, for already establishing in us the training to be musicians. But right now, Lord God, help us to realize that it is your command in the Bible for us to praise you. And as you have mentioned in Psalm 22, that you live in the praises of your people. And since you are glorified through our praise and our worship, Lord, help us to do it wholeheartedly, with joy, O Lord. That we would love this privilege that you have given us, and also the craft that you have bestowed upon us. Playing our instruments, O Lord. No other people, not many people can do this, but thank you, Lord, for blessing us, for just causing us to learn these instruments. And Lord, I pray that you would instill in us the love for this ministry. So Lord, I pray that you would also cultivate in us gratitude and thankfulness. And also, Lord God, I pray that we would just try and do our best in everything that we would do, that people may see Christ as Lord, Savior, Master, and friend. Thank you for all who came. Thank you all for all who participated and shared their thoughts and the things that they have observed. And I pray, Lord God, that you would empower us to be better musicians and better worship leaders for your glory in this church. Lord God, thank you so much. We give you back all the praise, the honor, and the glory. This is our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. God bless you all. Have a wonderful afternoon. Yes, you can clap. Oh my goodness. Slow clap.